There's football to talk about at Clemson, so let's do it. Jason Priester's on the line from allclemson.com, our guy covering Clemson football, and head on over there for all sorts of Clemson football, baseball, and basketball with Jason and the rest of the staff there on allclemson.com. Jason, what's going on today?
Busy week, man. It's been a busy week.
Busy. So let's get right to it. Hey, busy. So I guess it could be worse. So it gives us something to talk about. Let's start with recruiting because that never ends. And big weekend this past weekend and another one coming up this weekend.
Yeah, Clemson held its second junior day last Saturday. A lot of, guys were on campus, handed out 10, 11, 12 new offers. I didn't count them up, but it was a bunch of them. They were expecting, cornerback A.J. Harris to be there. He did not make it for whatever reason. I was told logistics. He just couldn't get there, whatever. I don't know if that's actually the case. But for whatever reason, A.J. Harris was not there. So Clemson handed out a couple more. I think Clemson handed out a couple more offers to corners last Saturday. Braden Marshall picked up an offer. Colton Woods picked up an offer. So the board's expanding there. I don't know if that's a sign of how they feel about their chances of landing Harris because he's been one of the top targets all along. But not good for Clemson that he wasn't there because I think his recruitment's starting to wind down. I've been thinking it was a three-team race between Clemson, Georgia, and Florida, and I'm thinking, Clemson's on the tail end of that. So not surprised to see the board expand there. It's also expanding along the defensive line. They handed out offers to T.J. Searcy, Hunter Osborne, A.J. Hoffler, and David Ojebe. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. It's Ojiegbe, but 4 new offers there. Actually 5 new offers there, so the board's expanding that defensive line too. They handed out another offer to offensive lineman, Zachariah Owens, big offensive lineman, top 100 guy. And I think this visit really resonated with Owens. I think this visit kind of puts Clemson leader in the clubhouse at this point. He's still got some more visits to take. So we'll see how that plays out, And they got another big weekend coming up this weekend too, 2024 quarterback Jaden Davis is going to be on campus. He most have him pegged as the top quarterback in the country in the 2024 class. 2024 tight end Jack Larson recently announced he's going to be on campus. Running back Jeremiah Cobb's going to be there. Defensive ends Rayco Walker, Samaj Turner, offensive lineman Roderick Kearney. It's another big weekend for Clemson, definitely as far as recruiting goes.
Jason, this question might be a little premature, but I'll throw it out there anyway. When you look at the batch that came in this past weekend, then you look at the batch that's supposed to come in this weekend, unless anybody's got some logistical issues in the way. Wink, wink. Any guys in particular based on need on the roster or just how flat out good they are that you think are more important than others? Anybody stand out?
Monroe Freeland, offensive lineman, 2023 guy. He was on campus last weekend, first time back up, since the season. He's an in-state guy, and I think he's a priority target for Clemson in this class. He's an in-state guy, and he's been one of Clemson's top targets, along the offensive line for this cycle. And being an in-state guy, that's one of those you kind of got to lock down. And I'm not sure that Clemson's got him locked down. This looks like it's going to be a battle. He's one of the top offensive linemen in the country. We don't do stars and that stuff over at Sports Illustrated. I think he's a 4-star at the services, but I know he's one of the top offensive linemen in the country. I feel sure he'll be one of the top 10 guys when our rankings come out. But this looks like it's going to be a battle, and I would have him definitely as one of the most important guys that was on campus last weekend, no doubt.
Check out Jason's work on allclemson.com on SI. Jason's kind enough to join us on a regular basis. We always enjoy the conversation with Jason talking about Clemson football. All right, the guys are on the field for the 22 season, so spring practice is 3 days old. I know it's always a struggle to try to get information, try to get a decent look at everything. Different programs have different rules in regards to how long you can be on the field as media, if you can be on the field at all. You see a little stretching, guys throw the ball around a little bit, hit a couple blocking sleds, that sort of thing. But what do we know at this point?
Yeah, Clemson let us in for three of the first 4 practices to watch. I think 5, 6 of the opening periods. Like you say, they don't show us a lot. We see a little bit of stretching and some some tempo drills and special teams drills, but that's about it. But I can tell you some of the guys that stood out, no doubt. The first guy that really made me take notice, I actually had to do a double take because he's wearing number 8, like Justin Ross did and Deion Kane did. But Adam Randall, the freshman from Myrtle Beach, he is a physical specimen, and I mean he looks like he could play right now. He just stands out. I went and watched him play earlier, during his high school season. Me and you might have talked about it back then, but he lined up at quarterback, running back, receiver, safety, even threw a touchdown pass in that game. But I think he is going to be something special. I don't know if it'll be during his freshman year. There might be too much talent in front of him, but he's going to get opportunities. He's going to be hard to keep off the field. And the other guy that's really stood out is Cade Klubnik. I do still think he needs to add just a little bit of bulk before he's ready to play be an every down guy, be a full-time starter or whatever. But he is every bit as impressive as his film suggests. All 3 days I've been there, when we go back after practice to talk with the players, he's the last guy on the field. He's out there throwing passes with, one night he's throwing them to Adam Randall, one night he's throwing them with Dakari Collins. I mean, it just depends on who stays out there. But he's out there, he's throwing passes, and he makes every throw, and he makes it look effortlessly into accuracy. I just cannot put that into words. It's on point. He makes each pass with like laser-like precision. I mean, it's so impressive to watch for a freshman, and he makes it look so effortless. Another guy that's kind of stood out is Ryan Linthicum, the redshirt freshman center. He just looks like a different dude this year. You can tell he's really been putting in work in the weight room. I don't know if he'll be I don't think he's going to be ready to start as a redshirt freshman. It's been a long time since Clemson's had a full-time, starter at center that was a underclassman. I fully expect Clemson to go to the portal and find a center because they're real short on bodies there with the retirement of Hunter Rayburn and Mason Trotter being out for pretty much most of the season. But Linthicum looks like a different dude. He definitely, I fully expect he'd be the backup this year. One more year and he'll be ready to go.
Klubnik, razor-like sharp. Obviously, I'm guessing through 3 practices, they don't even have pads on maybe at that point, or they're not maybe even 7-on-7.
No pads. They do some 7-on-7 reps. Like they run tempo and they'll have a full first team out there, but that's about all we see. And it's no pads. And he's running 4-string right now behind Hunter Helms and Billy Wiles, but I'm not sure that's going to last very long. He is just so impressive, but a lot of that depends on how fast he picks up the offense too. This is just 3 or 4 practices in.
Yeah, you can sling it great, but you got to be able to understand the offense, lead the team, make the right decision with guys right in your face. Because what people are going to ask as soon as you just lay out how well he's throwing the ball and dropping dimes all over the place, whether this is going to be a serious quarterback competition.
I'm still of the opinion that he needs a little size before he's ready to be the full-time starter. He's coming in about 185, 6'2", so he's a little thin. We kind of saw that with Deshaun Watson during his freshman season. He came in about right at the same size, got up to about 199 prior to his freshman season, and he had trouble staying healthy. He dealt with numerous injuries that season. And it ended up ending early on the ACL, which I don't think had anything to do with his weight. But, there were some other things earlier in the year that he dealt with. He just took a beating that year kind of. And I don't know how serious of a quarterback competition. I don't know how serious of a quarterback battle we're going to see. I fully expect DJ to be the starter. And unless he just thoroughly just drops the ball, I really don't see that changing it. And he's kind of showed up a different guy this year too. He looks different. He is much slimmer, and I know it's been talked about, but you don't really realize how much slimmer he is until you stand right next to him. He looks like a different guy. I remember last year I was filming one of his post-practice interviews with my cell phone. You're kind of holding it up like that. And when you're standing right beside him, sometimes you bump into him by accident, or they bump into you by accident. And when that happened to me last year, and he felt a little, soft. And I don't want to make it sound like he was fat or anything, because that's not. He just felt a little soft. This year, he bumped into me the other day. He felt rock solid. Said he's down to 235, wouldn't mind getting, or he's down to 240, wouldn't mind getting down to 235, 230. Played as heavy as 260 last year, so he's already shed a bunch of weight. Definitely looks like he's been working on his footwork. His accuracy looks better in the practices that I've seen. But again, like we said, no pads, no guys really running in your face. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, if he continues to struggle like we saw last year. Clemson's got another viable option this year that they did not have last year. And Dabo Swinney's shown in the past he will not, if it comes down to it, he will not hesitate to pull the trigger and make the change. It might take him a little longer than some fans like, but if it comes down to it, he will pull the trigger and make that change.
Well, everybody out there, we just found out Jason's secret. He bumps into players, and then he can, get a pretty good read on whether they've been working out or hitting the weights or, conditioning.
Yeah, that's probably not a very good gauge to go by. He's just a big guy, man. He's so big. He's 6'5". When you stand right next to him, he makes you feel real small.
Well, Clemson fans are okay with the comparison between Klubnik and Deshaun Watson. So if that continues down that road, it's going to work out pretty well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more comparisons than just physical comparisons too. That a lot of Watson's game, as a collegiate quarterback, reminds me of Klubnik. They're just a lot of similarities there. I think both of them are gamers. I think both of them have ice water in their veins. I think Klubnik's going to be that good. I've been sold on him for a while.
All right, folks. And revisionist history here. I've always said and produced a video at the time, Deshaun Watson should have been the Heisman Trophy winner in 2016. All right. All right, Jason, appreciate you stopping by as always, laying down the knowledge for us, and we will catch up with you soon. And in the meantime, everybody head on over to allclemson.com on SI to check out Jason's work. Thanks, Jason.
Appreciate you having me on, Mark. Thanks.